I want to tell you about something that I pray you already know. But if you don't, I want to hammer this truth home. The Democrat Party of John F. Kennedy is no more. And here's the proof. Let me talk about Ed Markey just for a minute. Now, he's not the rock star of some others, I realize, in politics. But let me give you his story. He's the sitting senator from Massachusetts. He's been in politics, as usual, forever. He was born in 1946, 74 years old. He actually held a job as a lawyer for a couple of years before running for office, and so he's been in politics his entire life since he was 26. If he wins this election, he'll be 80 at the time of the next election. It's just insane. Now, he's most famous because recently he stood outside with AOC. And he sponsored her Green New Deal that she put there in the House. He sponsored it in the Senate. So, man, he tied his kite to her star. So he, too, I guess, is a socialist like her. So he's campaigning in Massachusetts. And this is a part that's just, it's irony, it's crazy, it's unbelievable. He's running against a young man, an up-and-comer in Massachusetts Democrat politics. He is a Kennedy. I mean, he is in the same family with the famous John F. Kennedy. And so Markey has got a tough campaign on his hands, obviously. But I want to give you a quote that was in his ads. This will amaze you. It astonishes me. But before I give you what he says, let me remind you of something John Kennedy said in his inaugural address, January 20th, 1961. I bet you already know it. You have it memorized. Most of us do. I'm not even a Democrat, and this so inspired even me. He said at the end of that speech, "And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." Man, does that not just make all of us want to go out and sacrifice for the sake of our fellow Americans and our country? It's awesome. Listen, this is going to blow you away. I give you the Markey quote from his ads. Quote, "With all due respect, it's time to start asking what your country can do for you." End quote. Listen, he represents the real Democrat Party of today, which says, you know what? We are takers. We're not going to give anymore. We're going to take and take and take because that's who we are, and that's where we are today. Listen, you need to reconsider about how bad you hate the immature tweets of Trump and realize what happens if Democrats get power.